All right, welcome back to American Agenda. We're going to dive right back into today's top story. A New York judge setting a date of April 15th for former President Trump's criminal trial.
Yeah, that's right. Rejoining us now, former federal prosecutor Doug Burns and New York real estate and litigation attorney Michael Romer. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on and being on the show today here.
Thanks for
Doug, let's start with you here. Let's reiterate something we discussed earlier. Is it actually going to start on April 15th? You say that's not definite.
I was speaking to Michael about it. He doesn't seem to think it's going to start, and I'm going to agree with him. I think there's going to be some further adjournments. I think it'll have to do with documents. I mean, when lawyers tell a judge, look, you put 100,000 documents in front of us, we're really going to need some more time, you're really playing a trump card, no pun intended, because the judge feels, look, if I deny this, I could have some problems on appeal.
I couldn't agree more with Doug. It's going to take more time. We're talking about 100,000 pages of documents. The lawyers need time to review all that. So I'm anticipating this will go beyond the April 15th trial date that was set, and I think that's the reasonable expectation.
Yeah, you know, Doug, also want to get your thoughts on that appeals court today.
Yeah.
Ruling that former President Trump now has 10 days to pay the small fee of $175 million, but that's much better from the almost $500 million that he was facing this morning, two-thirds approximately less.
About two-thirds.
You know, we've talked about this all day, but do you think this is a win for Trump, or do you still think this is absolutely ridiculous, that he shouldn't pay anything?
I think it is a win for Trump, but I also think that there's a big counterintuitive point baked in, which people have discussed, and that is that had that 450 stood and had Letitia James actually gone forward and tried to take his property before he had a chance to really appeal, that would have been devastating. And in fact, one well-known pollster wrote an article that I saw online, which said that if she tries to take away his property, with him having no right to appeal, that would basically put him back in the White House. And I think I agree with that. So that may be part of why they did what they did today. It's hard to say.
Sort of feels like that her case has lost a ton of momentum, but the damage is done. As we've been talking about, you're in real estate law in New York, the biggest mass of real estate in the country, potentially the world here. People are now worried about doing business here. God forbid that they should speak out against the system. The precedent has been set. They have to worry about AG, Letitia James, or whoever else is in office now coming down on them.
First thing, I just want to point out, $175 million bond or judgment, the reduction today. The fact that that is good news tells us everything that we need to know. However, you know, it did take the wind out of the sails of the AG's case, but it's still a significant amount of money. And I think ultimately we're talking about the Trump camp's bank accounts, real estate. But right now, what he's effectively doing, the former president is able to buy time. This bond, if he is able to obtain one, or cash, if he's able to post that, that will actually help him buy some time to actually appeal this.
He said he had the cash. So
he seemed like a relieved former President Trump up there speaking today when he said, I'm going to post it. It felt like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders.
It's funny you say that, because I think the 450 really pressed him against the cage, but the 175 he can deal with. I mean, that's just the sort of common sense interpretation.
I think he was surprised, just as we all were.
Oh, no, I think he was.
All right, guys, we got to go. But great commentary. Doug Burns, Michael Romer, thanks so much for joining us.